Oh, we got the mail here, yes. Of course we got the... This one's been opened, you motherfucker! First question is from Death Spell. Hey man, I have a question for you. Answer only if you want to, but I want to know how much time per week you spent in your early days to get your videos out and reach the quality you have today. I'm trying to motivate myself to do the same for my YouTube channel, and I'd like to know the sacrifices and trials and errors that my favorite content creators had to make. I'm creating a geek, gaming and hardware apparel, and I want to use YouTube as a leverage to market those things. Something I think you are deeply knowledgeable. Is that a word? I don't know. I'm French Canadian. Your input is of profound value to me. Thanks, Deathspell. All right, so let's talk about this for just a minute. Right now, we are sort of in the days where we're transitioning from YouTube over to creating our video game, and also we're going to be doing vlogs and stuff on DTube and doing some gaming and fun, really raw content where we just say whatever the fuck we want over there. So we're sort of in a transition period, and YouTube has not been something that I have loved, but I can tell you in 3 or 4 minutes what you can do to make your channel work, how much time it took, and that sort of thing. So first off, this is all consuming. When you start doing YouTube, it's more than just a job. You don't go 9 to 5 and then come home and relax. You tend to stress throughout the entire day. So what you're gonna wanna do from the beginning, if you're really gonna get into this, is set clear boundaries for yourself. I don't answer emails after 6 or 7 in the evening. Just don't do it. It can wait until tomorrow, or else you're going to drive yourself crazy at 3 in the morning trying to answer every email, because a lot of them come from China, a lot of them come from, you know, the other part of the world, and they never sleep. So don't try to keep on top of everything all day long. And also regiment yourself so that you can balance the actual content creation with dealing with the back and forth from all the different companies that you're going to be talking to if you're doing technology stuff, or just dealing with all the different emails that you get. You have to sort of balance that out. One of the things that we did that I was very unhappy about, and I've kind of been unhappy, and you guys have seen that in a lot of the videos since then, is we went way too far into the hardware review category. Whereas I wanted to do more, you know, news vlogs, and also just gonzo media where we're actually creating the products like this here that you can go and buy in our store. Like you were saying, you can create a store. And then we sort of document all the processes behind the scenes, factory tours and that sort of thing. That's what I really wanted to do. But once we branched out, and I guess a lot of this is my fault because I wanted to step back and start working on other projects, whether it be hardware or the video game. The whole idea was that if we have an audience already, we won't have to go to all these, you know, venture capitalists and stuff and be like, well, we don't have an audience or anything. We could just do it ourselves and know that, hey, we've got a community. They're cool. They're right here because they know who we are already. We don't have to jump out and, you know, like do all kinds of ridiculous marketing that people know who we are. So that was the real idea. So I stepped back to work on a lot of that sort of stuff. And then the channel started going into more hardware reviews and stuff. And I would always come back and be like, oh no. So we got trapped into a vicious cycle where we had to do all these things because they were the things that paid the bills, and then we developed an audience for that. And so I got pretty unhappy about all that. So make sure that whatever you're doing is what you want to be doing, and don't let people come in and change the direction of your content. That was a huge issue that I had, and it's where I am right now. So I'm still dealing with the aftermath of all that. Also, be careful when you work with friends that you are clearly defining each person's role. Another mistake that we made. We can tell you a lot about the different mistakes we made and how we learned from them. So when you're doing this stuff, you have to make sure one person is the boss. And if the other people are not listening to that one person, well, you have to do something about it. I really just kind of chilled and was like, well, they're not listening to me. And if I say one thing, they go and do another because they don't care, or they think the channel should go in another direction. And then I would get mad like 3 or 4 months later and be like, all right, everyone, shut the fuck up. I'm the boss. And then they would get upset and be like, whoa, look who just rolled in on the fucking cavalry. So that was a huge problem, and difference, you know, creative differences and that sort of thing. So be sure that everything is clearly defined while you're doing this. And, you know, if you are working with friends, they have to understand one person has this job and that is their job and that's it. That if that person is the boss, they're the freaking boss. And don't think you can rule by committee, because you can't with friends. It doesn't work out. So the next thing, if you want to be able to market your merchandise, you're going to have to put a lot of time into this, because not only are you going to be running a YouTube channel, you're also going to be managing social media for all these different things. And you have to be very careful. You can't just keep spamming all your crap online. People are going to call you a shill, even though that's not the correct term for this, because you're just doing self-marketing. A shill would be if you're like pretending you love Intel stuff when you really hate Intel stuff, and Intel's paying you, then you're a shill for Intel. But if you're doing self-promotion, that is not the same as being a shill. You can't be a shill for yourself, you know. But if you are just marketing your own stuff all the time and not actually like doing anything good for the community, people are going to see you as just a greedy bastard, and that's not going to work out. So don't do that. You're going to want to make sure that you make stuff that people want. And then as far as content goes, it is a grind. I'm saying all these things not to discourage you, but to make you realize that this is a huge undertaking, and you're probably going to not make minimum wage for the first year, especially now with the way YouTube is going. You do need to look at new alternative platforms. There's Library, which is LBRY. It's a new coin. I guess it was an ICO a little while ago, but that one's interesting. It's based on blockchain technology. But the one I like is DTube, based on the Steemit. I guess Steemit is the coin that it's based on, Steem. So go check that out. We're going to be on DTube, and hopefully you guys are watching this video on DTube. It's a decentralized platform similar to YouTube. They've used a lot of the same stylings and that sort of thing, but you actually make money by commenting, upvoting, and we make money by commenting and upvoting. So it's a way that we can all get together and generate income through the Steem token, and then you can, you know, turn that into cash if you want to. But you can all get together and generate income together, and you don't have to rely upon ads and sponsors and just people who come in and try to tell you what your content should be. You can do whatever the fuck you want, and you can say whatever the fuck you want, and you can be yourself. And if there's a niche for it, people will find you. So that's what I want to recommend doing. Other than that, keep your day job and try to do this on the side. It's going to eat all your time. Just know that it will eat up all your time and all your life. And then if it's something you're really passionate about, keep doing it. I'm really passionate about making a video game, and this has always been a means to an end. So at some point it just becomes like a, you know what, I'm just going to go make the video game. And guys, there'll still be content, but it's going to change and be a little different, because the video game is really what's important, and it's going to be the thing that lasts way longer than each individual video. You know, these videos have momentary value. They're cool right now. Will they be cool in a month? I don't know. Will they be cool next year? Will they be relevant? The products that come out, they're only relevant for like 6 months, and then it's a cycle. So it's like, what eternal significance does this have? Am I going to be on my deathbed laying there being like, God, I wish I'd reviewed more motherboards? No, I'm not. So it's all about trying to live in a way that is risky, but, you know, how do you want to die? Do you want to die knowing you didn't do anything that you wanted to do? Got a bunch of questions here on Twitter. If you guys want to hit us up, we are at Tech Syndicate or at Logan_RTW. V1 Tech, who's my favorite digital artist or art piece? God, there's too many digital artists out there. I'll throw a couple in the description. That's about the best I can do right now off the top of my head. Gamers Nesca says, do you offer a class on Scandinavian death metal script literacy? Yes, I can do that. I'll do that for you, Steve. I'm more steeped in black metal and pagan metal, but death metal's right up there. I used to do keepitmetal.com, but you really have to put all your energy into one or two things as far as YouTube channels. So Keep It Metal never really got as huge as it should be, even though I'm probably more passionate about metal than I am about technology. Actually, I'm surely more passionate about metal because music is everything. What's not made in China? Moving right along. Do you think mining damages your GPU? When you guys mine, do you underclock or limit the TDP? I usually limit it to about 80%. Do I think that mining damages GPUs? These things are designed to run at this capacity for a long time, and the silicon's not going to just melt because you're using your product. People game for 16, 18 hours a day. If you're running it and it's too hot, yes, you can damage it. So you have to make sure it's within acceptable parameters. I keep mine in the 70s. That's just my thing, which usually ends up being around 80% of the TDP, and that's fine. All right, next up, from Mohammed. Play on console as your main platform of gaming and get $100,000 a day. Would you do it? $100,000 a day. Justin would do it. The problem is that money doesn't really motivate me that much. It's kind of sucks because money's a really nice means to an end, but I've never found it to be a motivational tool. But $100,000 a day, I'm thinking about all the cool things I could do. Like we could make the video game easily. That is so tough. If we had a limit, if someone said, if you can do this for a year, you get $100,000 a day for a year, I would just be okay with that 1 year. But if it was forever, I don't think a life without, primarily gaming on PC. How about if I just did no gaming? I would give up gaming and just go hike in the woods and stuff. I'd read books. That's sad, man. You're making me sad. What do you think about Tron? The crypto, not the movie, says Juan Jose Martinez. Okay, are you guys ready with your freaking javelins? I actually think Tron's okay. The cryptocurrency is, I'm okay with Tron. A lot of people yell because they plagiarized their English white paper. I tell those same people, go ahead and read their Chinese white paper. If you can read Chinese, a volunteer did the English white paper. They have an office in San Francisco opening. They have partnerships all the time. Their technology is very interesting. The problem they're having is Justin, I believe Justin Sun or whatever, the guy in charge of Tron is very, he's kind of flamboyant, and he just markets the hell out of himself to the point of nausea. So I think a lot of people are turned off by that. A lot of people are turned off by stuff that surrounds it and some of their marketing, and they've screwed up a few times. But I think they have a decent core team, and they have a decent roadmap, and they have some good partnerships in place. I'm not telling anybody to invest in it, but I have a few Tron. I have a few Tron. It's part of the portfolio, guys. All right, last question. What do you think about crypto miners ruining prices for normal gamers, and do you think they'll make dedicated miner GPUs that will be much better than normal GPUs for mining, or do the developers simply see money and don't really mind the reason for why people buy their GPUs? Here's the problem with everyone's perception on this. Everyone says crypto miners ruining the prices for normal gamers. Crypto miners are not ruining jack shit. The people who are ruining this shit are the actual stores. We're talking Newegg, we're talking Micro Center, we're talking whatever, whoever is jacking up the prices, even though they say it's from a third party or whatever, whoever's jacking up the prices, those guys are to blame. It's not the crypto miners' fault that they're buying a product. They are an end user buying a product to use it, just like the gamers are. They're buying too many of them, and what could happen right now is NVIDIA and AMD could step in and be like, listen, we are not going to sell our cards to anybody who raises them, more than 10% above MSRP. They could do that. They could also say, we do not want these sold more than 3 per person or 4 per person. You could do, four-way rigs. So no more than 4 per person. That would at least make them have to come back and forward and back and forward. That would make it a little bit more difficult. They could... There's a whole number of things they could do. Creating a specific GPU for mining may be a tall task, and they already have a lot of their factories running at capacity, but if they did that, that would alleviate some of the stress. The other thing is a lot of the coins in the future are going to sort of just get around this entire thing, be way easier to mine. You'll be able to mine them with cell phones and stuff like that because they won't be proof of work anymore, but that's on the horizon. This problem doesn't have an easy solution, but guys, it's not the miners' faults that the prices are so high. So don't yell and scream at the miners because a lot of the miners are people who actually love to play games, and the miners look at it and say like, oh, there's a bunch of gamers yelling and screaming because we're making money. Like, excuse me for buying a product at a store so that I can make money. I think it sucks. And I'm not going to go out and buy 90 graphics cards or whatever, but the graphics cards I do have, I am going to mine with. And that's where, people like me and Jay have a difference of opinion there. All right, so that's pretty much it. End of the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing this. And you better be watching this on DTube. Head on over there. Also, be sure to grab the mice. We sold a couple hundred of these things so far. Everybody in the UK, we are on Amazon UK as of now. So you guys can grab stuff on Amazon UK. Let us know in the comments what you think, and send questions to inbox@TechSyndicate. See you.